Inhofe.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. All right. Let me first of all just make a comment from our experiences here, and we've been on this committee for a long period of time. We've gone through several of the WRDA bills and other legislation and one of the problems we've had is just the overabundance of redundancy. You have an application out there, then you go through and you have all the different bureaucracies to work with. The president has said that in talking about infrastructure plans, he's highlighted several areas that can help get our projects constructed faster. He's talking about such as you don't really need a 404 and a 408. You could do that with one application or in areas where you have a federal decision, one bureaucracy to work with. Is there anything that you could share with us that you have shared with the president that is going to try to take away the burdensome over-regulations?
I'll do my best, sir. You mentioned the 404 and the 408. Those processes have both been moved down to the district level. They've both been combined as one permitting process. They're somewhat different. The 404 basically deals with the wetlands. The 408 deals with protecting federal structures from encroachment or adverse effects from close by infrastructure. But we have put those together, hopefully, to speed up that process. The other thing that I had begun to notice in the permitting process of the Corps, it was becoming punitive rather than just a permit that you come to seek to do a project. Now, that's not in all cases at all, but I have seen it.
Oh, and I've seen it too. I'm glad you mentioned that because that gets to my other question that I am very much concerned about, and that is that over the past year, we've talked about the abuses of the Clean Water Act. It's 401 state certification process. Now, under the law, the 401 process gives states the option to evaluate with a maximum of 1 year, but they're supposed to be evaluating on as to the compliance with the Clean Air Act. And so if there's a state who just doesn't like something that an application has been made, they can stall it for the year, and then they hold the applicant over a barrel by saying, we'll either deny it or you withdraw it. Well, and what's happened is there are a lot of them. Just to give you an example, on the pipelines trying to reach in the eastern part of the United States, they've been unable to do it because of this bureaucracy that is out there in the efforts to stop that type of legislation from going through. And so they hold up a permit under 401, and as a result of that, we have the people are the ones who are being punished. A good example is in Boston, their natural gas from Russia. Now, we're producing more here than Russia is. We could be doing that here. And why is that? It's because they can't get it just because of the pipeline situation and the obstruction that's out there. Now, there should be a good legislative fix to that. And I would think that hopefully you've had some time to look at that. And it could be that we could define that so that they can't use the 401 as a stall tactic unless it is something that actually does violate the Clean Air Act, Clean Water Act, or in some way is consistent. So it can't just be used for an obstacle. Have you thought about that?
Yes, sir. I'm personally aware of the 401 water quality certification of states. I've seen exactly what you said happen in the past. I think it could be addressed legislatively without stepping on the priorities and the needs of a state, simply by saying that if it's not addressed within a year, that the federal government would assume that they have nothing to say about it.
Well, I like your idea better.
And in doing that, I've seen it. You said it hurt those people with the gas line. Where I've seen it is in flood control projects. Back then, we'd go through the recon, the feasibility, pre-engineering and design, the EIS, and get ready to go to build a project and couldn't get water quality certification from the state. So that not only cost the local people money because it was all cost shared, it cost the federal government money. And ultimately, on some of those projects, it actually killed those projects. So that money that was spent was just down the rat hole.
Yeah, I think you and I both have great examples of that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.